Fam, I know it's been a while since I've filmed a video of me just holding the snakes and talking, but geez, it's so much fun to just capture the beauty of the snakes with the actual camera. Check out Cyrene, the rhino viper, drinking some water. I'll say it every time I show off Cyrene. This snake is just unreal. So beautiful, the colors, the pattern, everything about her is just mind-blowing. I just think to myself every time, how is this snake real? And where they're found, they're on the forest floor, just like the gaboon viper, which is a species in the same genus as the rhino viper. In the leaf litter, these will disappear. But just like the gaboon, how are these real? The pattern, so intricate. Just try to wrap your head around it, especially if you've never seen one in person. One scale might have a few different colors in just that one scale, but add it all together, it lines up so perfectly, pattern-wise. It's just amazing. Blows me away. But what do you think? And that little arrow-shaped black pattern on the head, people sometimes describe that as a little ghost. You see those little two arms sticking up? And the thing about Cyrene, and even with the West African gaboon viper, the horns, when they're babies, are very tiny. But as they age, they grow. And look at Cyrene, her horns are growing already. I don't know if you noticed, but when I first got her, it was just like little nubs. Now, the horns are becoming more prominent, and when she is a full-grown adult, they'll be quite large. And the reason I said the West African gaboon viper is because the West African gaboon viper has horns as well, but not like the rhino viper. The East African gaboon does not have horns. I have a video on my channel going over the rhino viper, West African gaboon viper, and East African gaboon viper, talking about some information and some differences, ways to tell the East African gaboon and the West African gaboon apart. So if you're interested in seeing that video and learning some more about these awesome snakes, I'll have it linked in the description. Cyrene, you are awesome. All the footage in this video is all the stuff I've captured since being back from Florida. Now, after soaking Cyrene, I had fed her, but I didn't film her eating. But I did try to wait for some fang foldage, which you'll see coming up. It didn't happen, but still, she's just so beautiful. I could just stare at her all day. But what about you? What do you think of Cyrene, the rhino viper? She's amazing to me, but I want to hear from you. And a few things about the rhino viper. Not all of them will be this defined in pattern, like very vibrant colors. It just depends on where they're found, so the locality of the individual rhino viper. This one is Ugandan, very beautiful, but some are kind of dull. And another thing I've noticed with rhino vipers, especially adults, that they lose some of the red coloration, not as vibrant as when they're babies. With the gaboon viper, very similar pattern, but they look just as beautiful from baby all the way to adulthood. But Cyrene's parents are very beautiful, so we shall see what she will look like as an adult. If she looks anything like her parents, she's going to be the most beautiful rhino viper on earth. She already is. Love you, Cyrene. You are the best. Although we didn't get any fang foldage this time, we will try again next time. Does that sound like a plan? Good. Sorry for staying on Cyrene for so long, but we're going to another African snake, the variable bush viper. This is Magma, the red variable bush viper. Look at those green eyes. Look at those scales. Dragon-like. Almost looks fake. Wow. Variable bush viper? Because what? Because they come in a variety of different colors naturally. Here's Henry. Green variable bush viper. But when I said many different colors, I mean many different colors. It's not just green and red like I have. There's all types of different colors of variable bush viper, also combinations. Same with this snake, which is an eyelash viper. The difference between this and the variable bush viper, although they're very similar, coming in many different colors, being arboreal. The eyelash viper is a pit viper. Variable bush viper is a true viper. They just have nostrils. They don't have those heat-sensing pits. I always ask, which do you choose out of the eyelash viper and variable bush viper? And I always say eyelash viper, but the truth is, it's very hard to choose because look at them. They're both just incredible. I don't know, it's much easier to film the variable bush viper due to those highly keeled scales. Just look at that. It's so easy to get in focus. The eyelash viper, it's hard to get in focus. But if you have not seen all the different colors of eyelash vipers or variable bush vipers, check them out. Look it up online. You'll see so many different colors, so many different patterns. It's just amazing. Like I said with the rhino viper's pattern, amazing that these animals come in different colors naturally. And why do I keep using the word naturally? Well, when you think about snakes, you see a bunch of different ones in different colorations, different patterns, like ball pythons. But those are morphs, mutations, bred specifically to express those mutations. In the wild, there can be these genetic mutations, but the likelihood of them surviving to adulthood, breeding, and having a population expressing these mutations is very rare. So these that come naturally in many different colorations, it's just so cool. Out in the wild. Wow. But I'm going to go ahead and ask again. Which do you choose out of the green and red variable bush viper? Which do you choose out of variable bush viper and eyelash viper? Now, I waited for Magma to do some fang foldage and it never happened, but this right here is the eastern diamondback rattlesnake, the largest species of rattlesnake, reaching lengths of up to 8 feet. But check it out. Fang foldage. We got it. You see those two little slots at the roof of the mouth? That's the Jacobson organ. When they flick their tongue, they're picking up scent particles. They'll stick their tongue into that organ, and it tells them which direction and what that scent particle is. If it's prey, or if it's a predator, or whatever it is. Isn't that just amazing? These animals. Can't get enough of them. Now this snake is the desert horn viper. This is the male that you're seeing right now, but I also filmed the female, so I'll swap between them, just filming each of them, whichever one's in better angle. But the desert horn viper is also a true viper, just has the nostrils. I've always loved this species, something about them. I think it's their face, the horns, because the pattern isn't intricate like a gaboon viper, a rhino viper, many other viper species. But the face, I don't know, I just really love them. Maybe it's the way they move as well by sidewinding, but these aren't the only snakes that sidewind. Maybe it's the way they burrow in sand. Whatever it is, I love them so much. With these snakes, I separate them when I'm feeding them because they have a high food response. And personally, I just like to limit the chance of an accidental bite. And more than likely they'd be fine, but it all depends on where the fang punctures, where the venom is injected. If it's in a vital organ, there's a chance one of the snakes would pass. And actually the male has bit the female before. So, don't want that happening ever again. Now I tried something else as well during this feeding, which is cutting off the lights in the room and just filming with the camera. And you'll see that coming up next. Let me know what you think. Is a darkness like this better than how it was? Personally, I like it when it's darker, just in general, especially like with a black background. But sometimes I feel it doesn't look as good with certain snakes, and it might be due to not being able to get them in focus. I don't know. With these, I think it turned out good. The snake kept moving back and forth like this, so I couldn't keep it in focus. But if it were to sit still, I think it would have turned out really good. I don't know. Let me know. What's your opinion? Now how about the Nwm-BeiBei banded rock rattlesnakes? In my experience, baby terrestrial vipers, those that live on the ground, are more likely to be problematic feeders than arboreal vipers, because arboreal vipers will bite and hold on. Terrestrial vipers will typically bite and release, and then they'll go track down the food and eat it. And you saw that quick little movement? Well, I'm doing the same technique I use with baby arboreal vipers, letting them strike until it gets stuck in their mouth, and then staying very still and hoping they don't wiggle it out. It's very time consuming, especially when they wiggle it out and you have to try again. And there's a certain point, if it takes too long, I don't want to stress them out too much, that I'll give up and try again another time. Now this is the male, smaller than the female, and he was in a bad position, so I didn't film with the food stuck in the mouth or him actually eating, but I was hoping for some fang foldage. It didn't happen, but still, look at that cute little face. But check him out in a better position. Look at that. He's a little bit darker than her. What a cute little snake. They're so tiny right now. Now, banded rock rattlesnakes don't even get that large as adults, but these are tiny, tiny. Look at that tiny little rattle. Each time they shed their skin, they're going to gain a segment. So that myth about counting the number of segments to tell the age of a rattlesnake is a myth. Wow, you are awesome. What do you think of these little banded rock rattlesnakes? I'm glad they ate, even though it was a tiny little piece. Now here's one of the new common lanceheads, the male. Look at that eye. Wow. I'm gonna end it with this snake, but I hope y'all enjoyed this video, seeing all the footage I've captured since being back from Florida. I'll get another video up and ready as soon as possible. But click like and click subscribe if you're not subscribed. And I want to give a big shout out to my channel members. If you want to support, become a channel member, get early access to videos, exclusive videos, and a shout out at the end. Also want to give a shout out to my Patreon members. If you want to support me over there, you also get early access to videos, exclusive videos, and a shout out at the end. And a big thank you to those that donate in other ways. But I love y'all. Be back soon.